literally destroyed the sports scene for the 8 years or thereabout that he was minister. Thankfully, someone at least who is a sports person has been named as the chairman of the National Sports Commission. I'm talking Shehu Diko. We hope that we can get something good from that. Anyway, those are some of the big issues that occurred last week. We wait to see how these new ministers who are about to get confirmation from the Senate will perform and turn around the administration of the president, who, if we're being honest with ourselves, in 18 months, you could argue, has seen more shambles than better policies. Anyway, time to talk about transportation and all the issues with traffic laws right here in Lagos State. Over the years, Lagos State government has taken practical steps, to ensure that traffic laws are maintained, obeyed, decongest traffic across the city, and offenders also are punished. That's our conversation between now and the 7 o'clock hour, as we're being joined by the Director of Public Affairs and Enlightenment of the Lagos State Management Agency there, talking about LASMA. Adebayo Taufik is joining us on the newsroom this evening. Good evening to you, sir. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Okay, my producers will be working hard to ensure that, of course, we can get back our guest on the show today, because it's a very critical issue, a very critical one that we need to talk about, because nobody wants to spend 5 hours or 3 hours on the road when you're supposed to spend less than that. Nobody wants to be caught for driving one way when in some areas there are no specific signs to show that possibly those roads are one way. Matter of fact, here in VI, this afternoon at about 2 p.m. or thereabout, I was coming back from going to get petrol or something. And I don't, if you're familiar with VI, the intersection on Legally, is that Legally? No, it's not. That's not Legally. That where the Sunfield bus stop, the road that leads from the express, all the way into VI. There's an intersection there where you are not supposed to just turn into the road as if you're going to the express. You're supposed to go around through Sheraton, turn around as if you're going to the mall, and then turn left before you can get to the end of the road and then turn into the express. That's the normal way. And of course, the signs are actually there that you are not supposed to go through, just come from the left and just turn into that road. The signs are there. There was a time when the signs were not there, and I remember that we did mention that a couple of times on the show, and of course the Lagos State government ensured that that was settled. But I saw a truck. In fact, I was just about to turn when the truck was coming in front of me, and I was wondering, does this guy actually know that he's driving one way? In fact, the driver was literally shouting at me that I should wait. Anyway, about 10 minutes later, when I had to come back to that same route, there was already LASMA officials, police officials. He had been blocked, and I didn't wait to actually find out what exactly had happened, but I'm sure he's definitely going to pay some penalty, or at least he will be made to face the law. I assume, or I hope, that will be the case. Now, in that instance, you would say this person deliberately disobeyed the law. But there have been accusations, or allegations, I should say, from Lagosians, saying in some areas that are supposedly one way, where you can't drive on some certain roads because they are one way, these signs are either not there or they are hidden. They're put in such a way that you can hardly see them. And what happens is that officials just come at you when this happens. So maybe all of those questions are what we're going to be speaking to our guests on the show. And I can confirm to you, Lagos, that we finally gotten through to the Director of Public Affairs and Enlightenment Department of LASMA. His name is Adebayo Taufik. A very good evening to you, sir. Welcome to the newsroom.
Yeah, thank you very much, my brother. Good evening to the entire news crew over there, and good evening to entire Lagosian.
All right, so the first thing I'm going to ask you, we're already in the famous Ember months, and historically, we've seen that to a large extent, traffic issues or accidents usually occur more from data around this particular time. What efforts are you, or I should not say you, what efforts is LASMA putting on to ensure that we can enjoy an accident-free Ember month here in Lagos?
Yes, thank you very much for bringing this very fundamental discussion at this very crucial time. I must confess to you that there is nothing spectacular about the month referred to as Ember month in Lagos or anywhere. It's just like any other month of the year. But what really associated with this month is the main festive season and the rate at which you have increase in social activities that would occur, that would invariably lead to a situation whereby you'll be having high vehicular movements, people moving from one location to another just to celebrate with family and friends. But as a strategic organization and as a proactive agency of government, what we first did was to have a kind of a stakeholder meeting with all the relevant government agencies, that of the state and that of the federal. We came together. We had a meeting last week, Wednesday, on how to form a kind of a joint enlightenment team. And of course, this is what we formed last week. We are starting that hopefully by this Wednesday. We want to start moving from one garage to another, educating and enlightening commercial bus drivers, because they are the major one that we needed just to get on board. Because ordinarily that is when we started the campaign of drink and drive, ensure that your vehicle are in good condition, the braking system and what have you. And even on the part of the government, most of these road signs have been seriously been working upon so that it could be more visible, and also the presence of our officers on the road will be more this time around. Also, as an agency of government, we have strategized on how to increase our patrol and visibility of our officers at every nook and cranny of the state, because the general manager have just approved a deployment of more officers to strategic locations within the state. Then also we are back on tracking down of commercial buses causing illegal parking and causing obstructions on the road. Like we did one on Thursday last week we started from Ketu. We enter into the Gua market, all the legal garages, all the legal shanties that are erected by these street traders that are causing serious obstacle to free flow of traffic with commercial buses entering into that large garage provided by the government. We demolish all these shanties there. So we ensure that we have meeting with this transport union within that axis in order for them to have a reorganization of the garage. Now, as I'm speaking to you, we don't have any commercial buses stopping around K2, stopping around the fruit market towards Ojota now. Everybody, we are now ensuring that they all make use of this Gua garage. I mean the garage directly behind the BRT bus stop at that very particular area. Also, we are embarking on serious awareness campaign. We have produced jingles. Hopefully by this weekend I'll get in touch with your own organization as well, so that we could just help us
I was about to ask you that. So
yes, you are. No, you are listed. You are among those that will benefit from it, because we discovered that you have a chunk of people now your own audience within that.
We are the station of the year.
Yeah, we are the station of the year. I know. That's really right. In fact, it was the general manager that specifically mentioned your radio station that you have to be included in this awareness. And also that, you see, what we have discovered that a station whereby you have our officers on the road trying to one-on-one having altercation with both commercial and private car owners have been things of the past of this day, because we are now making use of, and efforts are being made to make sure to ensure that this TMS camera that we are using, modern technology that the government deployed to our officers, are being effectively used this season, unitized season. We call it a TMS camera. It's a kind of a device that captured any traffic infraction at a distance without our officers getting closer to it. We get at a distance the real time, the area, and the location at which these infractions were being committed. And of course, immediately you committed these traffic infractions, automatically you receive a notification immediately on your phone, you know, that would inform you of what you have done on the road. And when time you click on the arrow button, on the link, then it will take you to a video where you will see where your vehicle had committed this traffic offense, the area and the time and whatsoever, you know. So from this, you'll be rest assured that you had offended, you had run contrary to the traffic sector reform law in Lagos State, and of course, you'll be made to pay a certain amount of money as fine to the cover of the government. But the government now don't just relax on that. They still believe that because there might be human error, there might be human factor in the usage of this very technology. They now have an opportunity. If you believe that, fine, probably you have a genuine reason to have committed such traffic infraction, you could make use of a challenge button at the bottom of the video that you are watching on the notification. This will take you to another window where you state your own reasons why you are, behave in such a
way.
And automatically you will be at the mercy of the Lagos State mobile court, where you have to present your case. You might be lucky to be free, then other you might be asked to pay a certain amount of money as fine to the government. Because at our own agency, we don't collect fine, we don't issue fine. What we do is, by the time you are being apprehended for one or two traffic infractions, what we do is we issue what we refer to as a referral notice to you. Is this referral notice that we take to the mobile court at Bolade, where magistrate will adjudicate your case and let you know.
Yeah. Sorry that I cut it. I was just trying to talk about what you just mentioned last year. About not collecting monies, or fines. But some Lagosians may disagree with you. And there have been allegations that some officials do indeed collect these fines. So are you, saying that if for any reason this is true, these officials are actually putting that money in their pockets?
Well, let me just say it clearly. Let me say it categorically that it is illegal. It is wrong for any last mile officers to collect any money from any traffic offenders or even any motorists in Lagos State. What we do is we issue a referral notice. Any money that is exchanged between any motoring public or last mile officer, it is illegal. And let me state clearly again that you see the law, both the giver and the taker are liable. And for you to know that as last mile doesn't tolerate that, just about 3-4 weeks ago, we had 6 last mile officers that were dismissed from service as a result of this unethical behavior on the road. And also right from the time the new general manager assumed office, from 20th of November up to this, we had dismissed nothing less than 18 last mile officers have been dismissed for various unethical misbehavior on the road. And we had about 35 being demoted. We have 16 being having suspended as a result of these illegal activities on the road. So we are not saying that we don't have people that are some of few a bad element among last officers that does that. But what we are saying is it is illegal. And we've carried out a proper public education to reorientate motoring public. That irrespective of offence, you are being captured by any last officers, you don't have to exchange any money with them. But you know, the attitude of our people, being Narori, they doesn't want to go to court. They believe that they could buy their way. Led to the issue of this trying to law officers to take money or to take bribe. But of course, we don't have any issue with them for that. But the issue we have is our own officers. Some of these are our own officers that exchange that goes into this kind of a deal with motoring public. And we have tried as much as possible, and the government have tried as much as possible to make sure that they enjoy a comfort working environment, so that they won't be at the mercy of collecting this illegal money from motoring public.
On the road. Okay, this is 99.3 Nigeria Info Lagos. Just in case you just joined us, the program is the Newsroom. My name is Ufuoma Egbamuno, and I've got the Director of Public Affairs and Enlightenment Department of LASMA right here on the show. Let's talk about the it's been like a recurrent decimal over the last couple of weeks and months. Queues all across Lagos because of this whole scarcity of petrol and the issues in the petroleum industry, and it's causing loads and loads of gridlock across the city. What's LASMA doing about it?
Gridlock?
Yes.
As of today, as we are talking now, where do you have gridlock in Lagos as a result of fuel scarcity?
I said it's been a recurrent decimal for weeks.
It has wavered off. There's nothing like a queue at every filling station anymore in Lagos for today. Every vehicle is moving freely on any part of the Lagos road. Go to any filling station. Fuel is being available at every filling station across Lagos now. So there is no any queue that is disrupting or obstructing free flow of traffic anymore.
Okay, I'll give you one example. Just one example. On Ahmadu Bello Way, there's the Mobile on one side, and there's the MRS on the other side. At least on Saturday, there was long queue on that Ahmadu Bello Road in Victoria Island. At least I'm giving you one.
Well, I wouldn't say you can't find them, but what I'm saying is it has drastically reduced. And even the queue that you saw at Ahmadu Bello doesn't affect free flow of traffic at that time, because most of these filling stations, we have our officers that are manning and controlling these vehicles, trying to get fuel at various filling stations across the city. Okay. What I'm telling you that as we are talking now, hardly you will find any filling station or any vehicle trying to get fuel and obstructing traffic in Lagos, because fuel is already available at every filling station.
Okay, let's talk about this issue of one-way driving. Just before we got in contact with you, I was giving a story about an incident that happened here in VI where the driver of the truck was clearly at fault, because there are visible signs everywhere to show that where he was turning into was a one-way drive. He should not have done that. And about 10 minutes later or thereabout, I saw at least one LASMA official and a police officer, and they were trying to sort out whatever needs to be sorted out. But let's talk about there are some areas, and we've had callers who have talked about it, where the roads are clearly one way, but there are either no signs there, or the signs are not visible for a first timer or somebody who's not used to the road to actually see that he or she is not supposed to be driving on that way. What do you have to say about these areas? I can't name a specific place now.
People, you always refer to when one or two motoring public commit any traffic infractions or maybe run foul of the traffic law. We also refer to some of these people as first-timer. Okay. What do you mean by first-timer in driving? There's nothing like first-timer in driving. Because before you buy your driver's license, you must have undergone series of training, series of lectures, series of education. So we expected you that by the time you put your vehicle on the road, you must be able to exhibit what you have learned as a result of this driving license, driving school that you have attended before obtaining your driver's license. Go to anywhere in the world, there's nothing like first-time driver. No. Sorry,
sir. Just to cut, I think maybe you misunderstood my question. I was talking about areas where allegedly there are either no signs to show that those roads are one way, or the signs are not visible.
And let me quickly address that. It's just a flimsy excuse. And the area where you feel that there are no road signs, as a government provided road signs at every location, at every nook and cranny of the state. But don't forget the fact that you have most of these vandals that move around, removing metals, iron, drainage cover here and there. But upon the way they are doing that, the government still continue fixing this. I could remember vividly at Dokpemu Bridge, where people were complaining that the road sign there is wrong. The government went there, provided a very visible and conspicuous road sign that nobody should fly this bridge when it is 3 p.m. in the afternoon. But you see how people flying that bridge, telling us that we have that signs that this place you should not fly at any time from 3 p.m. that they are first timer. What do you mean by first timer? First timer, you must be very, very conversant with every road sign while you are driving on any part of the world. Don't be using excuses as a first time. What is a first timer? If you travel abroad now, you can't just jump into the behind the wheel and say you want to start driving.
Okay.
Are you getting what I'm saying? You can't just do that. So it's only here that after committing such a huge traffic offense that you now be giving excuses that you are a first timer. Imagine somebody driving from Adeniji down to Yanowo and driving in one way, and you have last officer that accosted such a driver, and you are not telling me that he's a first timer. Well, what is a first timer in that? When you find out that
I would argue that
directly opposite the direction of the upcoming vehicle.
True.
Which is a very, very severe penalty in the Lagos State Transport Sector Reform of 2018. One way is a grievous offense. One way is like a killer.
True.
Are you getting what is like a killer? So the government doesn't in fact play with when any vehicle is being caught driving against traffic.
Okay, quickly.
And talk less of any other traffic offenses. And let me remind you, sir, on the issue of the money that you made mention, I'm not saying that every last officers we have a sane environment or a safe environment. In every organization, you have bad elements.
True.
Ability to manage this bad element is what matters. And I've told you that since November up to date now, the agency had expelled about 18 officers.
All right.
So that to tell you that we are working on them.
That is
so at every organization, even your own radio station, you still have few bad elements among your staff.
I would agree. My associate producer is a bad egg. So unfortunately, we do not have so much time. So I need you to answer these questions in 30 seconds or less. How cooperative are Lagosians in reporting traffic violations? Have Lagosians been cooperative? How are Lagosians cooperating in terms of reporting traffic violations to LASTMA?
Yes. Officially, we just launched a toll-free call center, working call center as well. The reason why we are doing this, we are bringing traffic management and control into the doorstep of every Lagosian. Unlike in the past, where you have any issues that you could not reach out to the management of the agency, this time around is a free for all. You are free to call us, even if you don't have a 1 naira.
Please, can you call that number? Can you call the number?
The number is 080 000 52 7862. 08 000 in 4 places 52 7862. And the beauty of this very hotline is you could reach out to us via English language, Pidgin or Yoruba without a penny. It won't cost you anything. It's a toll-free line. So, and ever since we launched this in from the June 3rd of this year, we have received close to 3,500 calls from motoring public.
That's good.
Out of this, only few one we are complaining. The other one we are needing last part service here and there, calling our attention to 1 or 2 breakdowns on the road. And the Goshen have been enjoying this very hotline beautifully.
All right, quickly call the
and
number
the
again.
Center, the number is 080 000 52 7862. That is 08 00 in 4 places 52 7862.
All right, sir. We would have to leave it at that. Our time is fast spent, but hopefully we can get you back on the show anytime soon in the next couple of weeks.
I'm available, no problem.
That would be brilliant.
I'm at the service of the public because I'm a civil servant. It's part of money they pay. Their tax money they are paying. They are using to pay.
All right, Lagos. That's the show today. That was Taufik, who is the director of LASMA's Public Affairs. My name is Ufuoma Egbamuno. Have yourselves a wonderful evening. I'll be back next week.
More news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment.
My ions, please, can get it.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let